Rockets are reported to have been fired at the Eritrean capital Asmara from neighbouring Ethiopia in a major escalation of the conflict between the Ethiopian government and local forces in the Tigray region. The attacks came hours after a senior official in Tigray threatened missile strikes on Eritrea. Our Africa regional editor Will Ross reports.
Escaping from war, these Ethiopians are making the difficult journey across the border into Sudan after fleeing the fighting in the Tigray region. They were stuck between the opposing forces and, fearing for their lives, abandoned their homes in a hurry. The UN says thousands of refugees have made it to this very remote area of Sudan, where the conditions are tough. As the fighting intensifies, camps are springing up for displaced civilians. They spoke of the dangers that forced them to flee. In the chaos, many have been separated from their family members.
I went out with my father, my mother and my child with only what we wore, and now we have no money or anything. We fled from death.
Forces entered and burned our homes and killed people. They left nothing. We fled to Sudan.
This is a conflict between Ethiopia's army and fighters who are loyal to the politicians in charge of the country's Tigray region. The government says the fighting was triggered by an attack on a federal military base last week. With telecommunications switched off in Tigray, it's hard to know what's happening on the ground, but there have been reports of hundreds of soldiers being killed on both sides. And the conflict has heightened ethnic divisions. Dozens of civilians were killed on Monday night in what Amnesty International describes as a massacre. Ethiopia has been through big changes since its Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed came to power in 2018. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize last year after reaching out to make peace with neighbouring Eritrea. But the widespread reforms he pushed through sidelined the Tigrayans of the TPLF party, who had long dominated the political scene. They accuse Mr. Abiy of teaming up with his new friend, the Eritrean president, to attack the Tigrayan forces. Earlier came the threat to target Eritrea with airstrikes.
Whether they go from Asmara or Bahir Dar to attack Tigray or other places, whether it's by plane or other attacks, as per our statement that we'll commit retaliatory measures, we will undertake missile attacks on selected targets in addition to Gondar and Bahir Dar airports.
Ethiopia's Prime Minister had predicted a swift win, but he may have underestimated the enemy. The impact of a drawn-out regional conflict would be devastating for the Horn of Africa region. Will Ross, BBC News.